Biology cannot explain who we fall in love with, nor intensity of certain attractions. There are a lot of healthy, symmetrical and compatible people, yet we feel pulled to only a few. So chemistry is not about hormones, but about meaning. Feeling doesn't come from stimulus, but what stimulus does to us. Projection allows the mind to place its own values onto another person, making them so special that it feels like they carry a key to our soul. As our mon chéri seems to have values and qualities to our own unconscious heaven. Apart from chemistry, we are dealing with alchemy, which is transformation of our internal energies through the lens of another. Let's come back 1000 years ago, where primitive people couldn't separate their physical life from the world around them. The same we struggle to separate our inner life from the life of the people we fall for. We imagine that the glow comes from another, where in fact, most of it's our own material reflected back due to the key they carry to our soul. Sex in that case becomes very addictive, as we identify our glow with the other. It's very important to understand that a person carries a key to our higher self, but in the end, a person who does the job, it's you. That's the psychological part that makes sex so unique, where you both melt in each other's sweat, feeling every move in slow motion, feeling a touch comparable to a burn, an internal explosive sensation. We want to have it all or nothing. Principessa, this is not how it works. You can have it all, just not all at once. When you meet someone that fits your preferences, be patient to develop the rest. Big businesses are not born big. They are big due to the consistency of its evolution. Anima represents the feminine part within man, and animus represents the masculine part within woman. On those parts depends our attraction to another and to our own inner wholeness. This is why when we fall in love in a romantic relationship, it feels like we have known that person forever, as those values have been projected to another person, making them extremely radiant and compelling. It is very important to know that this feeling might be gone in a year, but it's even more important to understand that you didn't stop loving a person, but you simply got used to a person who once felt divine. You can keep that feeling in the relationship by finding ways to bring aliveness. Don't hold on to that feeling and leave the space for regularity, because what once felt like divine tomorrow can be a disappointment. And that doesn't mean you have to fear and withdraw yourself up front, but that means you have to be responsible for yourself and the relationship and keep it balanced and organized, so aliveness won't be burned too fast. We are hardly wired to seek behaviors that trigger dopamine. Emotions and feelings requires any less organization and discipline than a successful business. If a business can survive 100 years on the market, then a relationship can survive a lifetime. This is why romantic relationships are so powerful, because they raise us up from the place we subconsciously want to grow from. And this is why falling in love is an invitation to individuation. A significant other becomes a mirror through which we see ourselves more clearly. Projection is a psychological way of pushing us towards wholeness and forcing us to understand what we lack and grow by reproducing it within. And therefore, attraction reveals where unconscious is seeking integration. And here comes the beauty of sex in romantic relationships. The beauty that reveals itself in intensity, touch, kiss, and all the nasty and spicy things you do behind closed doors. I would rather wait for that endless pleasure that feels like never-ending possibility of watching Paris from the sky, rather than sleeping with many that can confuse my energy and take me away from my wholeness. Every time you meet someone real, don't run away, because that's what we usually want to do. But ask yourself, what am I projecting here? What values do I see in a person that are also hidden in my own sense of being? What part of my soul feels the hunger that wants to be fitted throughout this encounter? That's why romantic relationships are freakishly difficult, but worth every minute of its further value. And sex that comes with it, it's any less than ecstasy we look in the beauty of the divine. We have a lot of sexual wisdom suppressed in order to fit in. Is it really worth living in your shadows in order to fit in? Your beloved one is a vessel for our inner opposite, our undone self, and we feel strongly pulled toward them. And a bedroom is an example where we reveal our hidden self, as it carries instincts we took from our evolutionary past. The body desires we couldn't express, the emotions we have been conditioned to suppress. All I just mentioned has its place of existence in erotic life. You may avoid it with performance or fake fantasy, but sooner or later it will come out, leaving you with the feeling sex is not working anymore. I'm not here to tell you how to fear it, but how to bear it. A person who was truthful and pure their entire life may want to try forbidden desires, cufflinks, tie someone up, aggressive domination, if that's what you can even call forbidden. Someone who pride themselves in independence may have a desire for sexual surrender. That's why sexuality carries a lot of shame, as from a very young age we are conditioned to believe which impulses are acceptable. Literally, the word is shaping our libido. Meeting our sexuality, it's not dangerous, it's healing. To meet our depth requires confronting a gap between body and mind, instinct and persona, desire and morality. The body becomes a space for rejected parts of self that can be acknowledged and welcomed back. Understanding why romantic relationships are difficult requires understanding that someone else can complete us by being a mirror of our unconscious. That opens the door to richer and more patient love. Love becomes less about poison, more about presence, less about magic, more about conscious integration. Once you understand that, you will never rob love from its magic. You need to know that the magic you look for, it's right behind the fact that your beloved one will draw you into hidden truths and call you into wholeness.